from the top.
Do you recall the heydays of the Ghana League Clubs Association, the mother body or welfare body of clubs in this country? Do you recall those days? Those were the days where Gawker became the most dominant force of Ghanaian football, where it contributed heavily to the management and development of football in this country. In recent times, many have described this institution as a rubber stamp of the football governing body, which is the Ghana Football Association. Questions have been raised about the management of football in this country. The man who superintended over the success of the Ghana League Clubs Association is Mr. Joseph Yao Appiah, affectionately called JY Appiah for short. It is his contribution to the Ghana League Clubs Association many years ago that shaped Ghana football and gave it an image that was a target of envy to many. But the big question is, what is his story like? We just know him to be a man in football. What about sort of things that we do not know about him? Maybe their public life is often one thing that we get to know because they share that with us. But maybe when we get closer to them, there are certain things we've probably never heard about them before that we'll get to hear. So today on Prime Take, I'm speaking to Mr. J.Y. Appiah. He's my guest. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
I hope you're doing well.
By the grace of God, I'm doing well.
Really good. I haven't seen you in a long while.
That is the grace of God. We all now live by the grace of God.
Yeah, that's good.
It might be thankful to the Almighty God.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Talk to me briefly. When were you born?
I was born at Nsuatre, a town near Sunyane, on 15th March 1946. To farmers. My parents were both farmers. So I was born into the farming family. I attended school at Nsuatre Primary and Presby. Went to Achinsa Secondary School. Went to IPS. Then after IPS, I worked with Ghana Cocoa Board. Came home in 1995. Now I'm doing farming, fish farming and cocoa farming.
Fish farming and cocoa farming?
Yes.
Oh, wow. So how would you describe your upbringing? How was it like?
I come from a humble family. My parents were cocoa farmers. My uncle too was a cocoa farmer. I grew up in my maternal home. In those days, our mothers were staying in their home. They would cook and take the food to our father's house in the evening, go and sleep there.
Oh, really?
So I spent most of my time at the maternal home, staying with my grandma, because my father and then we'll be going to the village to do farming. So that is why I was brought up. So I started farming at a very early age. Those days we go after Saturdays we go to farm. When we were on holidays we go to farm. We were farming. So we were taught how to farm at a very early age. So that is why I'm still farming.
Oh, wow. Was it a cultural thing that the wife stays in a different house and the husband also stays in a different house, and she'll cook from her house and take it to
that was the order of the day. Until recently, our mothers were staying in their mother's house. They would cook and then send the food to their husband's house, go and sleep there in the evening. If your father had two wives at then, they were rotating. 1 week for you, 1 week for the other woman. So that was the order of the day until recently when people decided to stay with their family together.
Did you do that with your wife?
Now I'm staying with my wife.
But when you started, was she also staying?
No. When I started, I moved back to my house. Things had changed.
Oh, okay.
So I spent greater part of my earlyhood life with my grandma.
Oh, okay.
She brought us up. She was also a farmer, but she was all the time in the house, taking care of us.
Okay. How many siblings do you have?
12. My mother gave birth to 12. She was the only daughter of her mother. So in those days, after 10, they would give her a sheep, Badugan. So she gave birth to 12. Unfortunately, 8 of us are surviving.
How many boys and how many girls?
2 boys and then 6 girls as at now.
But in total, was it only two boys and 10 girls?
In total, it was 2 boys and then 9 girls.
9 girls?
Yes.
Wow. Oh, your mother did well.
Yes.
Hey, she was able to give birth to 12 children.
12 children, yes.
But was your father married to only your mother?
Later on, my father got married to another woman.
Oh, okay.
So they became two.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then you're more of someone from a polygamous home.
Yes.
Wow. That's an interesting one. Then. But talk to me about your education. How was it like? You just spoke about the early days, how maybe from school you go to the farm and all that. But education-wise, how was it like? How would you describe? Were your parents those parents who were financially strong to see you through your education?
I must say my parents were financially sound. My uncle was financially sound. My uncle took care of us, all of us, except one sister who didn't go to school. My uncle took care of us, my siblings, and then his children. My uncle took care of us. He was a wealthy cocoa farmer.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I must be grateful to him for
him.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Out of the 10, all of us attended school, with the exception of the one that I come after.
I see. What did you study in school?
I studied, after I changed, I studied accounting at Appiah.
Oh, okay.
I changed
your professional studies,
yes,
which is now UPSC?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We were pioneers at the Chirinsia. We started at Chirinsia. We were the pioneers.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Kandapa was 2 years behind me. A lot
Kandapa,
of
the
deputy, yes.
National Security.
Yes, 2 years behind me at the Chirinsia.
Oh, okay. So if you did accounting, how did you get into football?
Football. Like? I became a crowd rep of Tanobo Fakwa in 1980. So from there, I've been associated with football. When I came, we were attending GACA meeting. Then it was OGLA at YMCA. In those days, we attended our meetings in the evening because most of us were all working and attended our meetings in the evening. So from there up to the time I resigned from GACA, I've been actively in football. I was 9 years the treasurer of GACA and 11 years the chairman of GACA. So I've spent 20 years with Ghana League Clubs Association.
Wow, 20 years.
Yes.
That's an interesting one. Let me hear you know the entire story of the Ghana League Clubs Association.
I know the entire story of Ghana League Clubs and the entire story of the Ghana Football Association. I know the character of those who are not there and then those who were there, because I stayed with them for 20 solid years. Apart from attending meeting when I was not executive member, being the treasurer for 9 years and chairman for 11 years. So 20 years with GACA.
But with the accounting background, did you also do something into banking, something like that?
Oh no, I didn't do anything into banking.
Did you work in a bank?
No, I was the Cocoa Board, the audit section of Cocoa Board.
Oh, okay.
I was deputy audit manager before when I came on retirement.
Ah, you were the deputy audit manager
before I came on retirement.
Oh, okay. Did you also work with the CBG, Consolidated Bank of Ghana?
No, it was Appiah who worked at
okay.
People usually confuse the two.
Yeah.
Appiah and Appiah, yes.
Appiah, he was the PRV chairman.
Yeah, he was the PRV chairman.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
But let's go back to the Ghana League Clubs Association. How was that? In fact, what influenced the decision to set up the Ghana League Clubs Association?
I think in the olden days, Sports Council was doing everything for the clubs. Okay. They were buying booze, football for the clubs. And then there was a time the club decided to be on their own. So I quite remember the late Ampofumeno, Bentum, the founding father decided. So it was called Organization of Ghana League Clubs.
Yeah, League Clubs, yes.
Then it changed into GACA. Budu Aqua, and then they funded the Association Ghana League Clubs. So from there, we've been fighting for the independence of the clubs. We've been fighting up to now.
Which is why people say you are the welfare. But
yeah, that welfare. But in those days, Sports Council, as I said, were controlling the gates. They were doing everything, even after stop buying booze and providing the clubs with their needed equipment. So we decided the situation should change. So we decided that we should be on their own. So we started for the liberation of the clubs from under the administration of Sports Council.
So the key reason for setting up GARCA was to liberate the clubs from the wings of the
Sports Council, yes,
which is not the National Sports Authority.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. Why was it purely monetary? Because if they were providing the resources or the equipment you need for your competitions and all that, why were you fighting for freedom?
Oh, because when they stopped providing those, which was Ghana Amateur, I think the Sports Council, GFA was then not Ghana Football. It was
Ghana Amateur Football.
Yes. So when it became Football Association, we decided that we should manage our own affairs.
Oh, okay.
Sports Council were printing tickets for us, for our matches. Sports Council was selling tickets. Sports Council were dispersing the proceeds, and said that was not in order. Though you use your stadium, that should not be the order of the day. We are keeping our tickets at their store. That was not the order of the day. We should be independent, manage our own affairs.
But you are using their facilities.
We are hiring, we pay for the facilities that we use.
But NSA will always tell you that you don't pay.
We pay. During our time, we share, but if we take 12% and some percentage from the game, that is payment. At least they receive some money for the use of the stadium.
Yes. But when you asked for that liberation, did you eventually get that liberation to be able to print your own match tickets and everything?
It wasn't easy, but as at night, we printed, before I left, we were printing our own tickets. I quite remember when the PLB was formed, Zabintum became the Daily Zabintum became the first chairman of PLB. And then when we played our matches, all the monies were deposited in Ghana Commercial Bank.
Oh, okay.
He didn't know what to do. So I set up the accounts department for Appiah at that time. I introduced the function statement. Tuesdays I'll go there, prepare function statement, issue checks to the clubs, what is due to the clubs and the National Sports Council.
Oh, okay. So what were the percentages like?
I've forgotten. Those days now, old age is taking part of our brains. I've forgotten.
Because you're almost 80.
Yes.
I can understand. I can understand that. But I want to think about your family life.
Yes.
And after we've moved into football, I'll come back to the football bit a bit. How many kids do you have?
I have 4. 3 men. I'll call them 3 men and 1 woman. They are all men now.
Yeah, they're all men now.
Yes.
And grandkids?
About 15.
Wow. 15 grandkids.
Yes.
Out of 4 children. Did you marry 1 or 2 wives?
1. I didn't follow the footsteps of my father.
You have followed the footsteps of your father?
No. The economic situation won't allow that.
Economic situation?
Yes.
Even then?
My father was a rich cocoa farmer. He could afford.
You're also a farmer. You can afford.
Now you see the climate, the weather has changed. Last year, for instance, we were expecting good harvest. When the cocoa started to bear fruits, the weather changed. So you
married many years ago?
Many years ago.
Do you recall a year?
I think around the 60s. I married very early.
1960s?
Around the 60s, yes.
Wow. If you married in the 60s?
Around that time. I quite remember. I married very early.
Why that early?
I don't know.
No. These are the
early 70s. Let's take it that way.
Growing up?
Yes.
Were you, quote unquote, a bad boy?
No.
But how did you marry that early?
My parents won't tolerate it. My uncle would never tolerate it. We were well disciplined, well cultured.
They were very strict?
Strict. The family, every member of the family up to now, everybody, my uncles, my cousins, everybody were disciplined. My father was a Muslim, my uncle a Christian Presbyterian. We were brought up. We must be grateful. I must be grateful to them. We're brought up.
By which part did you follow? Did you follow the part of your uncle, or you followed the part?
My father was disciplined. My mother was disciplined.
I'm talking of the religion.
I followed the part of my uncle.
Your uncle?
Yes.
Why your father was a Muslim?
Yes, because I was born before he converted into. Yes, he converted into Muslim.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. If you're married in the 60s.
It's early 70s, let's take that.
Early 70s?
Yes, yes.
Wow. It means that your children will like
around 50, yeah, yes. You saw the one who came here. Yes.
Wow. Okay, now let's come back to football. Did you play football a bit?
No, when I was in school, I played hockey. I captained the hockey team for so many, because we were the pioneers. I was playing hockey. I'm very good at hockey. Football, we played inter-houses and the rest, but it was, I wasn't a serious football player, I must tell you.
You never played hockey?
Yes.
But when I got to know you about football and instead of the hockey?
Because when I became a crowd rep, and then when we were in school, BA United was very dominant. Everybody supported BA United. Then we were BA Stars. I said, why? Why do I also support BA Stars? That is why I supported Bofakwa. From school, I supported Bofakwa because I wanted Bofakwa to be popular. Everybody was supporting BA United. Everybody BA United. I said, okay, I'll go for Bofakwa. So I supported. So people were wondering why pure Bromo man like me supporting Tando Bofakwa. Bofakwa was perceived to be team for the strangers. After the formation of BA United, Bofakwa was formed. So anybody who came to Sunyani, if you want to play BA United for the indigenous Sunyani amalgamation of Stamford and Azakes. And for this is for us. If you want to play, go and join the visitors. So that is why Bofakwa is known as team for strangers. Anybody who will come to Sunyani will support Bofakwa. Anybody who will come to Sunyani will support Bofakwa. So I started supporting Bofakwa whereas I was in school. So when I became the Accra rep, I was attending meetings with the late Butu Akwa, the late Kwajo Kwachi, the late Professor Mausi Deke, Kofi Kumado, Obimbuzi, a whole lot of things. We were learning from them. Yes. We had a lot of people, prominent people, on the Ghana League, organization of Ghana League clubs. So we understudied them, and gradually I was made a treasurer and became the chairman of the association. When I became the chairman of the association, the following year we had our first congress at the British Council. That was the first congress to be held in the football industry. And then we bought a bus. We then introduced, we bought a bus, so FA was renting. We were sponsoring Division 2. By that time, we were playing Middle League, if you could remember. We sponsored the Middle League. The Ghana League Club Association sponsored the Middle League, and then Division 2 clubs. And then when we introduced the top four, I quite remember the day Prince Odro, Honorable Nitiu, and then the former MP for, I've forgotten the name. They once came to my office that somebody had donated a cap to them. So they want us to see what we could do with the cap to the president. I said then we can play President Cup. That is the beginning of the introduction of the President Cup. Okay. So we introduced the President Cup, and it was very successful. We didn't go for money from anywhere. After every match, we gave portion to the presidency to be donated to whatever institution that like. We never. It was very, very successful. That is the beginning of the President Cup. How did you fund that? Why did you get money? Sponsorship. Sponsors were foreigners. You see, when you get a sponsor, you must treat the sponsor well. We gave them enough publicity. When you come to stadium, the sponsor, your name will be there. Nobody will sit on your seat. Tickets for the matches will be sent to them early. By Tuesday, their tickets will be ready. So we gave them the necessary publicity. So sponsors were following us. We had a lot of sponsorship. People were following us to sponsor it. And the matches were well organized, well attended. We had huge numbers. Yes. So then with the top four, we decided that the 4 teams that were to go to Africa to get enough money, get well prepared. That's why we introduced the top 4. And it paid off well. Out of it, we were able to get money, buy a bus. We were lending even money to the GFA. And then, team going to Africa, we gave them money. The Gracie Manche and then We were giving money to the clubs that went to Africa. And any team that won the league, or those who were going to Africa, we gave them sheep and then some present before, a bull, fat one, before they went to Africa. So really, it was out of that we put up our building at the stadium. We had a lease agreement with the late Osekwaku. We put up a very beautiful office at the stadium. And when they were yes, they decided to pull it. We decided to take the matter court because we had a valid a permit to do it. So they decided to give us a space at the stadium. So where the office is at now, they will be there for 35 years without paying anything.
That's the lease agreement?
Yeah, that's the lease. Yes, that they agreed that they will put the building down and then they will give us a space, equal space that we had in our building. So where the Gaka is now, they will be there for 35 years without paying a rent.
Wow, that's an interesting one. What changed? What changed to the extent that Galka is the way it is now?
You see, it's leadership style. When we were there, we were electing people to the FA. Elections were conducted at Gaka to elect executive members to the FA. So the clubs have control over the members who are the FA. Before every Congress, we met and discussed the Congress paper. You handle this one, you handle this one. So the FA couldn't bully us. But as at now, elections are done at the FA. Individual, they go on their own. The clubs don't have control over them. That is why they go and sit down, everything yeah. And the FA is cheating them.
No, but the restructuring of the FA statutes, why not at Galka?
You see, that was getting to the tail end. You see, at times I'll blame ourselves. If you take the league, for instance, we decided to take control of the league. We sent Gaka, sent Kwajofiano, Lawyer Kwasi Antechi, and then Ambassador Solomon to South Africa to study their system. There, the league board is quite different from the FA. What the FA does there is the appointment of the referees and then the disciplinary committee. Everything is done by the league board. So we decided to take control over the league. We went there. Johnny Jordan came also did the follow-up. I also did the follow-up. So the documents were ready. We had a lot of pressure from Sports Writers Association that we were taking over so we couldn't go through.
So SWAC pressure?
Yes, there was a mountain pressure. That is why we.
Why did you succumb to the pressure?
No, the pressure, you see, and most of people to at times, I don't know, petty envy, petty jealousy, petty things. That were other than that. And then even when I followed up to South Africa, we agreed with the South African FA that the one who will win the top 4 will be going to South Africa for the first time, and then the following year, South Africa to come here. We did everything. We could remember my senior brother, Elijah Grisa, would say, if no Kim first, I know South Africa. We finished with all these things.
I remember you see Elijah Grisa sometimes.
Oh yes, but he saw my senior brother. He told my senior brother, forgetting about it, because if somebody, your senior brother, says he's sorry for what he said, you should forget. Yeah. So we did a lot of things, and then a lot of things happened. And then one person became the FA president. People thought those Gaka executives there who supported him would go to join him at the FA. So they decided that you were a Gaka executive member, you can be executive member for the GFA. And why? Then, I don't know, they thought we would go, Gaka was then powerful, they thought we would go, we will influence the decisions of the FA. I don't know what happened. So we changed our constitution. Gaka executive member can never serve on the GFA executive council member. But prior to that, the FA could not treat us the way they are treating them now.
Is that a genesis of Gaka becoming a weak institution.
And then, you see, if you are financially viable, strong, you are strong, everything that you want to do, you do it yourself. But then, when we were living off it, we left a lot of fortune. Those who followed us, they went to African Cup, sponsored themselves to African Cup, sponsored themselves to World Cup, and then I don't think they are financially strong as we left.
I remember you mentioned that when you were leaving Gaga, you left it financially
yes,
very strong.
The notes are there, and those who follow us, instead for us to continue where we left, some introduced top 6, some top 8. President Cup, they go to the president for money. So yes. So I thought
you were rather.
We were sending
money to the
yes, we never, and we had a lot of money from those who went to Africa at that time can testify that they had a lot of money, and then the top 4 made the league very competitive. Everybody wanted.
Any club that failed to win the Premier League targeted the top 4.
Yes.
They wanted to win the top 4.
It was very creative. Those who played, we would get in touch with them. They made a lot of money, and those who went to Africa were well prepared.
We need to have this conversation, but I want to take you back a bit to some of the things. Was it because of the money that you were making that? Because there were many allegations about people trying to siphon money from the Ghana Class Association.
At that time?
Yes. For instance, that people were trying to forge your signature, to take monies and all that. I don't know. Is it because there was so much money in the office?
But there was so much money, but there was transparency. We were very, very transparent. Every year we made ourselves open, and whatever decision that we took was a collective decision.
But were there instances people tried using your signature to go and take your money?
There is a problem like I
no. But I'm not saying you should mention names. Is it true?
There was an attempt. I think it was a signature. There was an attempt. There was an attempt. Yes, but there was a.
But that's criminal.
There was an attempt.
Was action taken against the said individual?
Oh, I think no action was taken. There was an attempt. I must be honest with you. But we treated that a family matter.
No, it is criminal.
I think
for you to even try forging someone's signature in the first place, and you go like this is a family matter, and you allow it.
No, I think I was the chairman there. I think
that was after you had left.
No, before even I became the chairman. Not my time. Not my time. Not my time. Before I became the chairman. Not my time. Not my time. My time. You see, we were able to do whatever we did because we were united. We were meeting almost every day. In the afternoon, people would troop to the stadium, come and have their lunch. In the evening, we stay there before we go home after 7. And whatever we did, I quite remember when we were going to buy our car, all the executives went to Gamut to make the selection. Anytime we went for sponsorship negotiations, all of us went. So whatever went on under my administration, every executive member knew what was going on. When we played our matches, the gate process, we were all there, everybody. So there was nothing was said about anybody because everybody knew what was going on.
So you can't remember us along?
Yes, we were all together all the time.
You were all together. And I also recall the stories of Kumasi many years ago, maybe through your people fighting for independence. One of your members also, did they say a Ghana Black Stars game or something like that? The person who tried running away with the money or something?
No. I quite remember somebody attempted to introduce foreign tickets into, I think it was black metros that were playing. Okay. And the person was arrested at the Kumasi Sports Stadium. That one was reported to the police. The matter was at the court Accra here. I don't know what happened. I think it was discontinued. I don't know.
Is the person still in football?
Yeah, he's still in football.
And the person who also tried forging the signature too is still in football.
He has left football, but that was not the signature was not under my administration.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that it was not under your administration. What about the money stealing?
The gate.
No, not at the gate.
Which money was stolen?
No, that was under Alaraji, where people claimed that some $9,000 had.
Oh no, under my administration, nothing of that nature happened.
Oh, okay, that one was it wasn't under your tenure. What is that one thing that you've never told anyone about yourself?
About
yourself?
Myself?
Yes.
There's nothing for me to hide.
There's nothing you have never told anyone about yourself?
There's nothing for me to hide.
It's not about you hiding it. It's not about you hiding
it. My head, my head is not a computer. So things don't stay in my head. So you come to my house, they don't know, you can't lie to me. You can't talk anything about me. I'll ask you, this is what this man said.
No, I'm just saying that maybe personally, because we all have certain stories that sometimes we just keep them to ourselves. We don't share with them with anyone. Do you have such a story? Okay, maybe the story of how you set up your farm, the story of how your business.
I don't think I have such a story. It's my prayer that I'm a human being. I must be able to be 80% good. I'm a human being. The 20% I give it to God. I don't have anything that I don't want anybody to know.
Really?
Yes.
That's an interesting one to hear. Because there are many people out there who have got stories that they don't want people to hear about them.
I don't have such story. I don't quite remember.
So everything about yourself you've shared, we've told people about it.
People know whatever I do. When you came, I told you I'm a farmer.
So your life is an open book.
Open book. Why should I hide something? We must have free conscience. I can sleep the whole day, sleep the whole night. I don't think about you. I don't think about anything.
Okay, so let's come back and talk football. How do we reposition Ghana football to become viable again?
First, we must be honest, very transparent to ourselves. We must be honest, appoint the people. Now, those at the Executive Council, they can't talk. I don't know. They go to the Executive Council committee, Executive committee, they don't talk. Either they are afraid to talk and lose their positions or not.
Is it about time to restructure the statutes in a way that GARCA plays a crucial role at the Ghana Football Association?
I think GARCA should play a crucial role. And it all depends on the leadership style. Even as at now, under this current structure, GARCA can play a very crucial role in Ghana football. Look at the buses, the old buses that they bought for the clubs. GARCA could have come forward and we are rejecting the buses. Let us know the source of the money. But nobody talking about it. I don't know why. It's leadership style. How do you buy 16-year-old bus for a club? Even I understand they've not been able to license those buses. Death trap. And nobody talking about it.
The buses have not been licensed?
That is what I'm told. Some couldn't get to Pando. Those that were to go couldn't go. I think it was in the press.
Yeah. The Pando bus, Hohoi.
I couldn't go.
Hohoi United bus. I saw it.
How can the new bus that we bought? And I think it was bought in the name of the clubs. It's bought for the clubs. GARCA should, even under this current administration, they should have championed the cause of the clubs.
But when Kujofiano asked the FA president to resign, his general secretary released a statement apologizing to the FA president. I
would have sacked the general secretary of the chairman then. You work under me as a chairman. No, we should not tolerate such things. What influenced that? Is it good for association to buy old buses? When Kosinyan Techi was enough, all the buses they bought were new. And we buy a bus for a club, we couldn't go to Pando. New Edubiasi, the buses are there, parked. People, I don't know what is motivating them not to talk. Until the club's administration, either the football club manager administrator themselves or GARCA starts to do the proper thing, the FA will do what it's doing now.
If you had an opportunity to change your tenure as GALCA chairman, what would you change?
I'll change the whole setup, because me as I sit here, I don't understand why the FA should go and employ expatriate as psychologists. We have so many departments in the universities that do psychology. Why should we spend money and go and employ somebody as a psychologist in Ghana here? And we already this one. It's a disgrace even to the psychologists in the country.
Was it wrong for your administration to accept the changes in the statutes that made the GFA Executive Committee, which is now Executive Council, separate from the Ghana League?
I didn't accept it. The club decided to do it.
But you
we go by the majority. If the majority decided, we can't kick against. There's no veto power in the GACA. Majority decided that if you are a GACA executive, you can't be executive on the executive board.
Did you support that?
I didn't support it, but once it was carried through, I had to support it.
Is that what has weakened GACA?
Yes, that weakened GACA, because GACA was electing people to the executive council. And GACA had control over those people who were elected into executive council. But now GACA has no control over them. Is
GACA still fit for purpose?
It's not fit for the purpose that was set up. They are not fighting for the interests of the clubs.
They even struggle to organize their own top 4 competitions.
And then I understand the elections, there were a lot of things that happened. I have never seen even ice water.
Is it the money sharing?
Yes, I heard it. GACA elections, even water, we don't share water. I heard it. I said, why? Where are we going?
But I remember someone said that, maybe I can even mention his name. It's a tweet. It was a post he dropped online. That sought to suggest that the leadership of the Ghana Football Association under Kwesi Nyantakyi had a deliberate plan of making the FA more powerful than that of GACA. And that is why the institution is the way it is now. Who gave
Kwesi Nyantakyi those powers? If you allow the FA to appoint executive council members to serve on this executive, is it the fault of Kwesi Nyantakyi?
But what will influence?
When we were selecting the members to the executive council, the clubs had control over them.
What will even influence that decision to go like, okay, let's make GACA executives different from the chief?
You see, they thought those executives then would have followed Kwesi Nyantakyi to be on the executive council of the GFA. And though the GACA was powerful, that people feared that if that had been taken, the FA, Kwesi Nyantakyi would have gotten power or excessive power support. I think that motivated it. You see, after the elections, there were a lot of those who didn't support Kwesi Nyantakyi were very vocal. Anything to canvass against that was in the interest of Kwesi Nyantakyi. They thought if GACA executive by then had joined Kwesi Nyantakyi would have been very powerful.
He also got to the FA through GACA.
We got to the FA through GACA. And it was those people who were his ardent critic became the saw. They later on became the later day saw. And they were following Kwesi Nyantakyi in the later days of his
Was he your vice chairman?
Because he was my vice chairman before he became the FA president.
I also recall that, I don't know if this was an interview you granted somewhere many years ago, when you said you were going to uproot Nyahotamakro like Banchi.
Yes.
Why?
Because we decided that we were not comfortable with his administration. We thought there was a need for us to...
What was he doing? What was he doing that you didn't like?
You see, honestly, he did not really understand football administration. He not at that time, though he was associated with GACA, and we thought he was being autocratic. There were a lot of charges were leveled against him, and then we had to have him removed. And it was after it's removed that the reforms in the Ghana Football Association happened, because prior to that, the government was nominating 2 people.
Yes.
One was the chairman and one became vice. Yes, so that through that one, the reform took place and the change came. I've forgotten most of the charges we leveled against Honorable Yahoo Tamaklo.
You uproot him like Banshee, and indeed you uproot him. That's how powerful you were to the extent that you could even threaten the FA chairman.
No, if you have your people around, you can move them around. You have their support. You are transparent to them. You move them around. You are always with them. They know whatever goes on. They know whatever you do. So without their support, you can't do anything. So you must always. I couldn't do it because on my own. GACA did it. The executive of GACA did it.
But what was the structure of GACA in a way that it wasn't the chairman who was serving as the vice to the FA chairman then, but it was the vice of GACA?
We felt the chairman of GACA was even higher or equivalent to that of the FA.
Oh, so, okay, that was the thinking.
Yeah, that was the thinking. We're not subordinate to the FA. So how can chairman of the GACA be chairman, vice chairman? No. We were not subordinate to the FA.
And GACA was that powerful? It was that huge an institution?
Those executives at that time were very powerful because we were very united, very solid.
It's quite unfortunate to see GACA today actually struggling and now more of a puppet of the FA.
Because if you allow yourself to be used, we wouldn't allow ourselves to be used. We had to go a lot of struggle before we got to where we were. So we didn't allow ourselves to be manipulated. I'm happy to say every executive member that I worked with was very cooperative, very, very supportive. We all worked as a team. Whatever we did was a teamwork, not an individual. Though I was the chairman, it was a teamwork, not an individual work.
So if you had to describe the GACA of JYP, how will you describe it?
You can describe it.
Yeah, but you were there.
No, I was there
you
because
pretended over everything.
Yes, you can describe it because I was in the driving seat. I didn't know whether I committed a lot of mistakes, whether I performed better or badly. Those sitting outside can judge it.
But did it come to your attention that, we think you should do this way and not that way?
Comments came after we left office. People now realize that we did a lot of good job.
We did a lot of good job, and unfortunately, the Ghana League Class Association of today is, as you mentioned, not fit for purpose. But how would you describe the current leadership of the Ghana Football Association?
Is there the leadership? Self-centered, closed circuit.
Self-centered. What is it?
Self-centered, whatever they say, nobody can challenge it. Nobody. You see, I don't know. I have not been following because I'm not interested to follow it. When you sit down and watch things going on, at times you become sad. Why do you go to Congress? You don't do this. You won't allow you to talk. You do this. You do this. Suppressing people. When you talk, they will call you to ethics committee. When you do this,
But you need to protect the institution.
No, you need to protect them. Do well. What people won't talk about it. Look at officiating. Look at the way things are going on. Look at the performance of the Black Stars. Look at the performance of national teams. Then you don't want people to talk. Do what is good.
But you worked with the currently critical. Didn't you work with him at
No, I left before he came.
Oh, before he came. Okay.
Yes.
So
now I understand we won't even go to the office. The process you go through. Well, it's an office, public office. So if I have suggestions, do I have to go through all this before I go and give you suggestions? If you open up, people will advise you, people would like to talk. Now everybody is afraid to talk. The team managers are afraid to talk because if you talk, your team will go on relegation. My team Bofakwa went on relegation. And we also officiate. We talk, yeah, I can talk. He will hold before the ethics committee. Yes, you know the sort of officiating that we had.
Do you ever feel hurt about some of these things?
No, you see,
because as one of the people who laid a very strong foundation for Ghana football many years ago, and it has become what it is now.
I feel so bad that our forefathers, Santi Gemfi, the late Professor Marcy Deke, the late Kwajo Kwashi, the late Abentum, the Tana Badla, the late Jaola, the effort that they put into bring Ghana football to limelight is that they did a lot of sacrifice. During our days, we were not taking anything from as members of Reserve Council. I think our allowance was 10 cedis, and my friend Champon said we should increase to 15 cedis. We told him it's a sacrificial job. He won't do go. Now they take monthly allowance. Where in the world have you seen a board member taking regular payment in addition to allowance that they take?
But that is also a structure to say that, okay.
We're a board member. We attend board meetings. Board members attend board meetings, take allowance. It's not full-time employment.
Okay, but I can get an argument. But if you take a look at the previous structure of the FA, where they had an emergency committee and executive committee, it was the executive committee that was not taken. They only get when they come for meetings. But the emergency committee, we're meant to understand.
I don't think they were taking allowance. Emergency committee was, I think, to deal with emergency cases. Yes. Before the then report to the executive committee. I don't think I've forgotten, but I don't think they were taking pay.
But Mr. G.Y. Appiah, if many years ago, when you were in charge of the Ghana League Clubs Association, when the Ghana Premier League was very strong, there were no competing events that provided alternative entertainment to Ghanaians like we have now. Mm-hmm. There's European football. Almost everything about European football is kind of appealing to someone who likes football. Contrary to what we have in our various stadiums. You go to the stadium, no one even shows up. You go to the stadium, the pitch is horrible. You go to the stadium, your security is not guaranteed. That is why it's not appealing. But those days, people were going to stadium. I quite remember when we were playing the top four. Even when I was chairman of the FA Cup committee, our last match that we played at Second D. Look at the attendance. It's the way you promote it. The way you promote it. That was the Media Makotoko one. Yes, Second D. Yeah. It was under my tenure of office that is the time we started to take the finals outside. Look at the attendance. It's the way you promote it. If you don't promote it, and the Europeans are promoting theirs, people will leave yours and go and watch the European football. All these things you're saying, why is you seated on the fence when you can contribute to the development of the game? When you wanted to come here, you told me, and I gave you your permission. Could I have walked into your house and asked you to interview me? I couldn't have just even walked in and said I want to speak to you. Yes, so you don't need my advice. Why should I force my advice on you? In essence, they've not sought to. Nobody, even when the top four that we enter, when they are playing the matches, courtesy invitation, nothing. I don't quite remember the last time I stepped for the GACA office. So the person that's why I said it's close community. The FA is close community. Football people, the football people are running it, and nobody. But I find it quite interesting that this appears to be more of a problem of the FA when it is your very own members who have rather weakened your institution, because they hold the power. They go to Congress and decide who leads the association, and if these people no longer hold allegiance to the Ghana League Clubs Association, which is their welfare body, and they've chosen to switch their allegiance to the Ghana Football Association, why is the FA being blamed for this one? I always hear that money's pass hand. I hear. So if you are influenced, if you sell your conscience, you are doomed. I advise you never to sell your conscience. If you take money and vote for somebody, you sold your conscience. If what we hear is true, that money change hand during these elections, then those who take money, they sell their conscience before elections. The December 2005 elections, did money change hands? I hear. I didn't go there. I'm not talking about these current elections. I mean the December 2005 elections, the one that brought Kwesi Ntachu to power. Did money change hands? I don't think at the whole of I don't think. But what I know is that some delegates were camped. But I don't think money changed hands. Those who travel outside,
were provided with accommodation. That's what I can't remember.
But
there was no guarantee that those that will provide accommodation would vote for you. But we will take money, even at the time of voting.
Who got the accommodation? Was it Kwesi Ntechi or why Ibrahim?
I think both sides. Both sides.
Which camp were you in?
I was in Kwesi's camp.
Ah, because he was your vice chairman,
Yes.
so naturally...
Yeah, I was in camp, but not to that extent. If what we hear is true, that is too bad. If you sell your conscience, you are doomed forever. So I advise those who can never sell your conscience. Have free conscience, say whatever you want to say, and be free.
Now let's talk Black Stars. You mentioned that the FA decided to go and hire an expatriate as a team psychologist. And if you were there, you wouldn't have agreed. What do you make of? And I'll talk about the instrument issue as well, because I'm not sure hooliganism started now.
Oh no, it didn't start well. Now, it has been there since time of Adam.
Did you try fighting it?
It's education. You see, there are a lot of factors. Poor officiating, cheating. If I'm playing home and you see the referee cheating me, and naturally we are all human beings, supporters will be agitated. Daylight robbery. So if we want to put an end to this, we should be fair. Fair officiating, do things well, and go by our rules and regulations.
But naturally, there are some fans too, when they are playing at home, they want to win. If the opposition team is so difficult for them to beat,
why should it be that normally home teams will like to win? Because when they go out, they will cheat them.
No, so why?
So if everything is fair, you can go and play, win at home. European matches, they go and play, win heavily at home. So because things are fair, referees are fair, things are properly done.
But referees also take horrible decisions in Europe.
They take, but not as the frequency is not in Ghana. We all human beings and commit mistakes.
I get that we are all human beings and we make mistakes. But this hooliganism thing, for many years, recently took the life of a Kotoko supporter.
It's rather unfortunate. I wish we don't mention it. It happened in my hometown.
Yeah.
So at my team I support. It's very, very rather unfortunate. It shouldn't have happened. My sympathy goes to Kotoko family, the family of the late Nana Poli. It's rather unfortunate. Though I pray that we are forgiven. We don't let us go up. It's very bad. Very, very bad. We didn't do well. Whatever the situation, would have been a little bit patient because it's football. Rather unfortunate.
This is a blot.
It's a big blot to Nshatre town itself and then Nshatre man, which we don't mention it. Very painful, very sad, very disgraceful, very unfortunate. We are sorry for what happened. Though I'm not on the executive of Nshatre, I'm from Nshatre, we are sorry for what happened. It was unwarranted. It shouldn't have happened at all. Very sad. We beg for forgiveness. We didn't do well.
How do we bring hooliganism, or how do we curtail hooliganism in football?
You see, we must be fair. The match we are talking about, there was inadequate police security. And we must go by the rules of the game. If it's match A, we must go 20 soldiers. We must ensure that 20 police are there. I quite remember sometimes we were bringing the military to supplement the efforts of the police. We must be fair and tighten up our security. It requires money, but money can't buy life. It requires money, but money can't buy life.
That's very true. Money cannot buy life, indeed. And there are people who say that because the FA often ask the home team
to provide the security, get the police and other security people to go and safeguard the venues and all that. There are people who believe that some of these clubs do not have the resources to be able to get the required number of security at match venues. So what should the FA do now?
You see, apart from the resources, I don't think the Seattle police ban was arrest in Seattle supporter. After the arrest, do you know what will happen? More so, I don't think Sunyani policeman will arrest Bofakwa supporter or arrest in Seattle BA United supporter. If there is a need, the police security should come from outside the locality. And then we should not think about money. The FA should take it upon itself to provide adequate security for both home and away team. Seattle police population is not up to 20. How do you use Seattle police? And not all of them can leave the office to go to the stadium. Yes, if possible, they come from other, despite the cost. We should not think about the cost. So that they are neutral and they perform their work well. At times, some policemen will stop their duty and will be watching the matches. If the home team score, they will be jubilating. It's natural. So we must have a second look at it.
There are even allegations that some of these police officers often even bet on the matches, and
yes,
they are the team they are betting for it to win. They are actually supporting that team to
yes.
win. So even if fans are misbehaving,
yes. How will Seattle police arrest a supporter in town? Watching we are here. You see, you know, who endanger his life.
I want us to wrap up the conversation pretty quick with just some 2-3 more questions, and one of them would be this: what lessons should we learn from the death of Nana Pole?
We must learn a lot, make a lot of changes. We should not take our security lightly. We must have intelligence before the match. You could see that tension on this match was very, very high. And you could see that according to what we read on social media, the man was giving several warnings not to come. That's why I must say we must have intelligent report before the matches. And then we must be fair. Officiating should be fair. Officiating should be fair. The FA should provide adequate security. They should not rely on the home team. They should provide adequate security. And they should ensure that before every match, the security is okay. Even understand when Kotoko were entering the stadium, there were a lot of issues. Yes, they should have been settled there. All these things should not be allowed to happen. The FA, who are running the league, we must take control of the league and run it well.
How will you describe the tenure of Keto Krigo as leader of the Ghana Football Association?
I'm not impressed.
Why are you expecting him to impress you?
Oh, I'm not the least impressed about his performance. I'm not the least impressed about his performance.
So do you subscribe to the conversations currently happening that he should get a third tenure?
No, I don't agree to that.
Why?
You haven't done well. How do you go for a third term? What has
he done that is not right?
No, are you happy with the way we are running our football in the country? If you can help me with this answer, then I'll also tell you. Are you happy with the way we are running our football in this country? What is going on well with our football administration in this country?
But, okay, having issues with your league, i.e. hooliganism, i.e. betting, failure of your national team to qualify for the African Cup, all these are points.
Look at the pitches we play on, and I really understand we constructed the boreholes for the pitches. Look at the pitches we play on.
Yeah, in fact, I wrote to FIFA for the amount FIFA gave us.
Yes, and look at it. Has the money been put the use that was allocated?
They say they dug boreholes.
Where are the boreholes? Where are they? Are they working? And who is to ensure that they work?
But if they come and give you the borehole or the water tank, the club should also be able to.
No, do you buy the borehole and leave it there? Don't you see to it that it's put to the use that it was it was constructed?
If I buy you a car, should I buy fuel for you to drive it?
Why did you buy why do you construct the borehole? For the upkeep of the field.
Yes.
And you see that the field has not been kept. Have you questioned the one that you gave the borehole? Huh? You must question. We bought you this to do this. Look at your pitch. You are not playing there. Go here. We sit down and look aloof.
If you were the FA president, would you have kept Otto Addo after Ghana's failure to qualify for the AFCON?
No, I wouldn't have.
Because I remember one of my colleagues was saying that every big nation that is supposed to be at a major competition, failure to qualify means that your coach is not good enough and must go.
Yes.
But Otto has been maintained.
He has been maintained. And look at his performance since he was re-engaged. He's not on the average, below average. So why do you maintain such a coach?
But in the first place, this was a man who said whether Ghana makes it to the final of the World Cup or not, I wasn't interested. And within a year, he was back.
Even I understand he was not, he didn't even apply for the post. This is what I hear.
Really?
And this is what I hear. And then the man they've appointed as a technical advisor was applied for the post and was not given. And how do you appoint a technical, who works on the who? So what change will the technical advisor bring? Who works on the who?
So the technical advisor cannot advise.
Advice, you can take advice or can refuse to take advice. It's not compulsory that you take advice.
So you consider that appointment unnecessary?
To me, that is what I think.
Wow. Well, that's an interesting one. What should the new sports minister? I remember how you criticized Mustafa Yusuf and mentioned that the current challenges about Ghana's sports, especially football, should be laid on his doorstep. What advice will you give to the current sports minister?
I made that statement because it's the government that employs the national coach.
Yeah.
And if you are employing somebody, you must ensure that the person you've employed is competent. So I created that the minister on this call. You have employed somebody who is not competent enough to handle our national team. We pay for his accommodation. We pay for everything from the consolidated fund. So the minister should have had a say in the appointment. So I'm expecting the new minister to have a say in the appointment of those technical directors. It's not the FA who is going to pay those technical advisors and the psychologists. They are going to be paid by the government. So why should you sit down for your money to be put to wrong use? That's why I created the fund.
So the appointment is a wrong use of the money?
Yes, you don't appoint competent people. You put round hole, in a round hole. You know, so the government will ensure that our taxpayers' money is put to good use by appointing the correct people. You know, football must unite all of us. If the Black Stars, if they were to go to AFCON, we will forget about so many of our problems. We will form football for 1 month.
And after that, we are back to the problems.
Yeah, back to the problems.
I remember someone, a certain, I don't know if the person is a pastor or not a pastor. The person said that Kwesi Nyantakyi are going to tie the Black Stars or Ghana football to a tree in northern Ghana. That's why the national.
If he had that power, why didn't he tie and ask to stop him from?
But he knew Anas was the person behind the document.
But you have that one, you can see for your way forward. If you have that powers, you can see your way forward.
That's a good one. But in recent times, people often say that Kwesi Nyantakyi leaving office, in as much as many people didn't appreciate him when he was there, Ghana was in the semi-final of every single AFCON. In fact, final twice under his tenure, 2010 and 2015. When he left, Ghana has never made it to the semi-final of the competition.
You see, it's management. Me, I serve on the Black Star Management Committee. And then the way we draw the coach in his selection. I think when we were going to South Africa, I think Germany, like Kingston, it took us about 3-4 hours debating why he dropped him. any coach that he picked, he gave a reason for picking that coach. And for any player that he picked, he gave us reason for selecting that player.
But isn't that also trying to...
No. It was even to help the coach. He did his own selection, but now understand the coach doesn't have free hand to do his own selection. I don't know how true it is. But the coach did his own selection. You selected these players. Why didn't you take this one, but you took this one? You must justify it. And whatever the decision, the final decision was his.
Did Kwesi Nyantakyi leaving office bring Ghana football down?
I don't say perhaps he's leaving, but after he left, management had gone down. Administration of Ghana football had gone down.
Following his exit?
Yes. We are in the country, we know what is going on.
Number 12 was a horrible job. Because people said it was meant to sanitize football.
Has it sanitized football?
Neil and Van der Poel said the system is more corrupt than he thought it was under president.
Has corruption ceased?
Yeah, that was what Neil and Van der Poel told me in the interview. He said he thought Kwesi Nyantakyi's administration was corrupt, but this administration is worse.
Yeah, so me, I believe in the will of God. It was the will of God. I believe in God.
You are in touch with Kwesi often, right?
Every day we talk. He's my junior brother. Every day we talk. I console him.
You still kept that relationship from the Ghana Academy?
Oh yes. You don't keep relation when only somebody's on top. Whatever be the situation, we keep the relationship.
I see. So even during number 12, post number 12, you were still with you. You've always been with him?
Oh yes, give him a lot of advice. We console him. I believe in God. I told him it's the act of God. Don't worry. This door is closed. God will open another door for you. Don't worry. I strongly believe in God. Me, whatever comes my way, I take it in good faith.
When he was the FA president, were you advising him?
I was advising. As I said, advice you can take or leave it.
But were there some of the advice you personally could see and said, "Oh, I advised him to do this, and he's done it"? Were there some of them?
Well, there are some of them, but I can't tell you here. You see, he's my brother. If you advise your brother, you can't tell the public.
Mr. J.Y. Appiah, former chairman of the Ghana League Clubs Association, he's been my guest on Prime Take. It's been quite an exciting conversation. Continue to enjoy our programs here on the Joy News channel. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm extremely grateful.
I'm very grateful.
Good afternoon.